deviam ser aliados. Nós compartilhamos o controle, mas não a coroa.
So, James, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Vinícius from
Likewise.
Brazil.
How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, London is for once in sunshine. It's very rare, but it's
Oh,
happening right now. So yeah, I'm very happy.
oh, very good to see. So, James, congratulations from this role in this series. Is really amazing and intense. So, first of all, I want to know what was the process of bringing Harold to life in this TV show?
It was a different process for me this time round because my production company produced this show. So I was with this character for 8 years. You know, the idea came from a piece of paper. Mike Johnson, the writer, came to us and said, "No one has told the Battle of Hastings. Why is this the case?" We then looked into the history and saw these incredible characters and all these twists and turns, which were completely true. So it's one of those like, wow, no one's done this. Why is that? So we started developing it. And so I was with the conception and then kind of the process of building Harold and William and all the rest of them from the beginning. And so I had a very privileged position as an actor because I had 8 years of preparation. You know, I'd built him myself with the team. So I felt real agency, I felt real ownership of him, and I felt very close to him. And and I was a little nervous when I arrived on set because it wasn't my usual process. Usually you do like 3 intensive weeks or four, a few months of like reading and preparing and thinking about his headspace. I didn't do that because I was producing the show. And then actually when I got there, I realized I was as more ready than I'd ever been for any role. So it was great.
Yes, it's very good to know because it's a very special character for you.
It was a special character for me. It really was. Like and it's a special character because I was behind the scenes.
Mhm.
I had this role, and it was myself and my team who made the show, but also because this story is incredibly important in England.
Yeah.
It is the last time England was invaded. We are essentially Norman still. We have William the Conqueror. You can draw a direct line of lineage from our current king to William the Conqueror. Like there is a direct kind of familial line, which is kind of crazy. It's the first thing we learn in school, first history lesson. It's 1066. So it felt like a really important story to tell. It felt like a privilege to be able to tell it. It also felt like a pressure because, it's very much part of our cultural identity and we needed to get it right.
So, as you know, Harold has a historical character, and did this fact make this process richer or more challenge for you?
I think generally, having now played a few characters from history, I
Yeah.
find that mostly it's a benefit because you have a structure. I mean, it depends. Sometimes you play someone who's alive still, like a real person who is currently alive. That's complicated because, well, it's terrifying knowing that they may watch your work
Yeah.
and also then you have to avoid kind of mimicry. Harold is so far removed in the fact that it was nearly 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And so we have we have a kind of outline of him. We know a bit about him. We know his life. We know the big punctuation marks, but I don't really know what went on in his bedroom, with his children, and his private life. And so really it was the preparation, and the important preparation was in that domestic space. And that was a real privilege, a really fun process to be able to work with Balthazar, our director, Emily Beecham, who played Edith, is a friend, a brilliant actress. So we spent a lot of time working out who these people were outside of the public gaze. In that sense, it was like, it didn't really make a difference that we knew him. I mean, there's always this, for me, actually adds an element of magic. There was a moment when I was standing on that battlefield dressed as Harold. I was thinking to myself, can you imagine the original man knowing that in 1,000 years, some English guy will be standing on the side of an Icelandic mountain as him, telling his story. It was incredible, sort of drawing that line between me and him. Very moving, actually, and it meant that I remember having that moment and going, right, let's not fuck this up. Let's do him proud. So that's, in that sense, it was an emboldening sort of hand on my back guiding me.
Yeah, amazing to hear about that. So, James, this series has such a beautiful film locations. What was like shooting in those places, and did you have any location who impresses you the most during the production?
So we shot the whole show in Iceland, which
Mhm.
big conversation we had as producers and initially about where we would shoot this because we wanted initially to shoot it in England, but then we realized that England doesn't look like England of the 11th century. It's too crowded. There's too much development. You can't really find enough space where there aren't people. Balthazar was one of the I think was the first director we took it to. He has an incredible empire of studios out there called RVK, and he wanted to come on board, and he also wanted to make it with his studio in Iceland. And so we kind of we realized that whilst there was some of the story, England would have looked slightly different. There would have been more trees. We know that for a fact because England was one big forest. So there were sort of things which we took with an artistic license, but what we gained from shooting in Iceland was this incredible, expansive sort of cinematic scale and light as well. You know, we were shooting a lot of the interiors inside with RVK and Balthazar's brilliant team. So that was also a move for us. It was, you know, a benefit because they were just a brilliant, brilliant crew. But then when we went outside, we were sort of standing in these beautiful sides of hills, rivers, mountains. Like Iceland is one of the most beautifully sort of striking places you ever visit, and also because in the spring and summer it doesn't get dark. The sun,
Yeah.
a DP, and often DPs talk about the magic hour, which is like the hour before the sun sets, and that's the best time to shoot for a DP, for a cinematographer. In Iceland, because of the sun staying low, but staying low for 20 hours a day, you get the magic hour for hours and hours and hours. So you get this beautiful sun-kissed sort of twilight, which is the dream. So we were basically very lucky. Not only did we have these amazing locations, but we also had this incredible light. And as far as a favorite place, I mean, honestly, too many to choose. Like so many places were just breathtaking. I'm a huge fan of Iceland, and I sort of fell in love with it when I was there. My name is James Norton, and I play Harold Godwinson in King and Conqueror, and you can watch the whole series on UOL Play.
So, James, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to